Okay, got it. Then it's fine.
Hi, Gopal. Good morning for me, and good afternoon to you.
Hey, Reid. Good morning and good afternoon to all the audience from your channel.
Yeah, how are you doing today?
Oh man, I'm doing great. And just like any other tradition, I have the pleasure of introducing a lot of our products. Start with your stream first. So it has
Yeah,
become a
it's
habit for us.
fifth time, something like that. I know you've
Yeah,
been on a few times by yourself, once with Marco Russo as well, with that. But you keep coming out with products that haven't really previously existed. So now certainly with this one, where there hasn't really been any kind of like main data editor type of situation or things that let you edit record like data. So this will be a really interesting one to take a look at. But I definitely get very curious on some of the enterprise grade options to make Power BI not just a consumption tool, but something that can also be used for inputs into a system. So it allows it to be part of the actual cycle that's more cyclical rather than just simply the endpoint of something.
absolutely. Our kind of goal and vision is to basically bring a class of data apps that have heavy business user demand, but are actually today unmet in the market. And EDITable belongs in this use case. You would think something simple as, I want to create a table, maintain a table, but by a business user with the ease of use of Excel, but with full governance, basically.
Yep.
So this is something a lot of our customers pushed for us to build. And it completes our entire offerings we have. And I'm pretty excited to actually introduce it to the audience through your channel.
Now this is something that, and I'm sure we'll get into this, but I know that you already have a tool that does do write back. And this is another tool that does that as well, but a more specific type of it. So that would certainly be something I'll be interested in seeing as we get into the demos. But there are different granularities. It's almost like with reporting. There's a 35,000 foot view of your ecosystem where you see the trends and the patterns, and there is need to input data at that level. Forecasts, trends, other stuff where you don't need to go and edit every of your 800,000 records. You do that at the very high levels, at the categorical level. But then there's also times where you need to make entries at a much more granular level, which is adjusting fields per customer if you're changing leads or opportunities. So I think, to my understanding, is like that's kind of where this was headed. Is you have two universes of levels of write back, and rather than having one tool that tries to do everything, jack of all trades, master of none, creating a separate tool that lets you do that more transactional and record level type of inputs and a little bit of in between, but focused more in that universe.
Absolutely. Our matrix, the write back matrix, focuses on your measures, your budgets, forecast, things like that. This is purpose built for maintaining your dimensions, basically your attributes, your pricing lists, and things like that. typically. So one of the things when I walk through the slides, I will explain is that this has a need in every company. And because these are basically kind of your reference data, master data, like simple example, let's say you plan to hire 10 new employees in your organization, but you want to plan for it. Okay, I'm going to give an offer. But typically in your system of record, you don't create that employee until actually their join date or the day before they join.
That's fair, yeah.
But for your reporting and your planning applications, budgeting and forecasting, you got to say this employee will start in August, this employee will start in September. But you need to, because you have either you planned already that you plan to hire or you rolled out an offer, but they are integral part of your reporting and planning applications, but they don't exist in your system of record.
Yeah.
So what happens is then customers tries to maintain them in their spreadsheets. And then what happens is how you try to run a data pipeline, and then it's out of sync, and it's a common pain point. But the challenge is that's why most business users, enterprise class business users explain, is that they don't have a solution that they can work with it. Now, you have your MDM solutions. These are mostly built for your disparate systems, consolidation of master data, systems of record, maintaining, and all of that. But this is mostly ignored, or even if there are something existing, it lets you update one record at a time. And the most important thing is they are designed and built by IT like an app, but the business wants something that is Excel-like, no code. It should be faster and easier to use than Excel, but with more governance. So one of the things we started designing this solution is our focus should be governance, ease of use, governance, approval workflows, or something that I will touch on. What I wanted to make a kind of a big announcement with your audience today is that I don't know how many of you all noticed it, that Lumel was featured as a Fabric's strategic ISV in the Build conference, in the Build keynote. What I wanted to reveal to everybody is what I'm showing you today, EDITable, which will be our first native data app available on the Fabric ISV workloads. And I will explain why when we have so many of the solutions, why we picked this is because this is the perfect use case that is somewhat unmet in the industry, but it is a data app that is going to sit on top of Fabric and bring a lot of high value data, structured data into Fabric in minutes. So one of the things, my goal for the demo is I'm actually going to show how you can start a business user, no IT, start from their spreadsheet, create their table, maintain their table with governance in 5 minutes. That's the big reveal. And like I said, I'm pretty excited about what we can do with the new framework. So we will be, you have Power BI. Now, the Fabric will be an extensibility that Microsoft announced and revealed at the Build. And we believe that is the future, because the way we have architected every single Power BI application as a standalone application with full platform-like features, so they can sit on top of Fabric and give you that full interactivity, full capability, full self-encompassing vision that we had. We started building to this vision 6 years back, and today we have all these things coming up, a class of applications called native apps that will sit and run on top of your data platform. So you are not running your ETLs and ELTs and data pipelines and sending your data all over to your SaaS application. I fundamentally believe SaaS is dead. I believed it 6 years back, because once the data platforms mature, where the CIOs have invested in building and maturing their data platforms, the apps will have to run on top of data platforms. And there is a class of application that belongs in that. And I'm going to have, talk about our architecture and vision. But for those that don't know Lumel, Lumel is in business for about 14 years. Today, we are pretty proud to share that, pretty much we can undisputedly, we are the number one Power BI app source partner. We serve over 3,000 enterprise customers worldwide, and pretty much every single use case, just like Microsoft sells an Office 365 productivity application. I think today we can say with EDITable, we have a complete suite of data applications that we run on top of Power BI, and we help customers migrate and retire their legacy applications and consolidate within Power BI, because everybody knows that Power BI is owned by every single company through their Office 365 E5. And
Exactly.
in general, people have a desire to do everything in a single user experience, like a Teams app, the whole Office integration. So that's why we brought all our data applications inside Power BI. Now, there are benefits to running them, all these applications in Fabric, and that is our vision also to move alongside with Power BI as a Fabric workload. And all our applications will be available in Power BI as well as a Fabric workload, because there is going to be a lot of benefits for customer. Because one of the things that we will be able to do is we will be able to offer consumption-based pricing. So today, if you look at all our Power BI application, customer needs to own Power BI licenses and then buy our apps on top of it. But I think Microsoft vision is that they are creating every single offering of theirs as a service, which means you can have your semantic model and just buy our applications to run on top of the semantic models, basically. Okay.
So, like by consumption, is this is that a user based, or is that more like how Fabric does, which is storage is cheap, you pay per compute? So it's how much like effort is being run.
All right. So that is also our vision, is to move all our application. Again, I don't want to speak ahead of where the market is going, but
Sure.
one of the USPs of our company is, we always look forward and think ahead of where the market is going. So we started building to this architecture 6 years back, but to build applications that run on data platforms, and then you can pay by consumption. Now, by the end of the year, we think we will have several of our applications running natively on Fabric. So alongside with Power BI, so it will coexist with Power BI. If you want to run it with Power BI, you can do it. If you want to run it side by side with Power BI in Fabric, you can do it. The main thing is it will run on top of the semantic model, the metrics layer in Power BI, basically. And I think
very, very tight integration in that case.
Yes, it is. They're designed to be minimize the data movement, basically, because if you look at the last 40 years, you ran an ETL, ELT data pipeline into the SaaS applications. But the biggest downside of that is you have ELT going all along, and then the SaaS application holds hostage of your budgets and forecasts, and then you have to bring it back to your data warehouse. Today, the CIOs and the CDOs and the CTOs, having invested the last 5-6 years with Snowflake, Databricks, and now Fabric, they are questioning, we invested to eliminate data silos. Why are we sending our data to applications? Because too many applications create data silos. So we spend all our efforts to consolidate and create a data platform. And guess what? We are continuing to send data to different SaaS application. Okay, budgeting, send it to this application. Reporting, send it to this application. Visualization, go send it to this application. The whole concept we knew was going to die. And now that the concept of data platform has matured and customers have invested in building their robust, mature metrics layer, semantic layer, they are starting to question the movement of data. That's why we architected everything, including EDITable. So you create a table, connect to a table, live edit. So you can see the seamless experience without too many data movement. That is the innovative disruption we are bringing to the market that I will be talking about. Now, it doesn't go without thanking one of our marquee enterprise customer, Merck. So Merck pretty much owns all our product, and they believed in this vision that they wanted to, even though they own pretty much every software in the world, they own you name it, SAP, Oracle. They won't collect every single software they own, but they had this vision that can I do everything with Power BI? Can business user do more with it without creating a project for everything? Because if you look at every other tool, you want to make a small change, it is a project, basically. So they collaborated with us and they pushed, saying that we have other tools, but we have a huge for contract management. We wanted you to create a tool. You already have the pieces, you have this write back matrix, you have this value, you have this, a lot of this. So they kind of pushed us. And I'm pretty grateful to my friends like Andre Fomin at Obviance. He was basically reinforcing the same theory about 2-3 years back that, hey, you are missing a table editor. You are missing this in your portfolio. And I want to also thank Khalid of Data Crafters. He was basically adamant that this is also, so when this is the missing piece of the portfolio that we have to invest, it's just a matter of time, you will be forced. And then when customers like Merck was saying that you need to do this, so we started investing in it about 18 months back, and we fairly moved as our write back technology matured. We started collaborating with Merck, and Merck actually went live actually with EDITable. So even though EDITable is in beta for other customers, Merck had a business priority, business reasons to go live quickly. So for doing their new project, so they went live in March. They bought 50 user license, and guess what? Within 30-40 days, they actually ordered 50 more users, and they are telling us that this is going to be one of our best used or highly adopted product just because of the ease of use. We haven't even done the documentation. People are creating and maintaining tables in 5 minutes, and they are up and running. And I'm pretty grateful because Andy Gundrum at Merck and several of his Haley and several of the business users, basically Ross, who's in the enterprise architecture, they all endorsed that, hey, this is something that is going to be a big hit. And we are able to collaborate with customers like Merck. And then we built it, and then we showed it to several of our key marquee customers. And they also said, we need this feature, we need this feature. That's why we have held back the actual launch. And we saw this. I think we are trying to perfect it. So, I would almost say we are more excited about EDITable than we were 3 months back, because every time we show it to a customer, you could say, how did you know that this is an unmet need in the industry? So I wanted to touch on that. Let's focus on why the industry hasn't really addressed this. If you really think about, the common use cases, people always want to create and manage things centrally, but there is always proliferation of Excel because it is the easiest software, flexible to maintain things for a small things. Like I mentioned, let's say you are going to get a new customer who is going to give you a contract from, say, August through end of the year. Now, it's not going to exist in your system or system of record, but you need it for your sales projection, how much money you're going to get, how many hours of billing you're going to do that. It's not going to be in your system. Let's say you are launching a new product, just for in our case, EDITable. There is no actuals, basically, because EDITable is not launched in now. I want to be able to plan for my add EDITable as in my products queue, and then I want to be able to do that. Let's say we want to change the name of the product, which is an attribute, or a customer says, now I have moved from here to here, you want to change an address. Or then I have to plan, I'm going to move in June. I have to do that. Things change over time. Like, for example, this was my hourly rate from up to June. You give a notice. Up to June, this was my hourly rate. From July, my hourly rate is going to go up because of inflation. How do you track your historic thing? That is the type 2 dimensions. So if you really think about it, now obviously people will come and say, oh, I can build an app for it and all that, but these are all projects. Then you have hire consultants, the app builders and all of that. People don't have the time or the patience, because then they say, oh, I'm just going to do it in Excel. Somebody will run a data pipeline, import my spreadsheet and load it into some systems. The business user just moves. The moment you say it's a project, they move away. But then IT is going to say, hey, I want something that is very robust, that will pass our SOX audit. So that's why we, somebody like a pharma, they insist on, FDA compliance, security. So we invested heavily on governance and audit, which I'm going to show heavily on. And then we said it has to be as easy as a business user to get started and do it. And then we want to make sure it had a live edit feature, which means I edit within few seconds, I should see the change so that my reports and my planning applications get it. So this is the kind of the vision and the use case for it. Now, people can maintain their customer master, region master, typically to add changes in the region, newer region, or the new product portfolio. One of the things when we showed it to the customers, they said, hey, you are missing type 2 dimensions. Yeah, type 2 dimensions are basically slowly changing dimensions. Let's say from up to June, this was my price, and from July, this is my price. Or your salary was, or your title was up to June was software engineer. Now you are an architect, you are getting promotion. How do you maintain the history with the change? That's what is called you are slowly changing type 2 dimensions. And a simple unit price I want to maintain. So we try to address those very popular common use cases. And we architected in a way that it will connect to, obviously, I'm going to do the Fabric today and probably Azure SQL. I can connect and read and then live edit this within 5 minutes. Today, we are going to, at Go Live, in the next couple of weeks, we are going to support your Azure SQL, Snowflake, and Redshift. And we are going to invest to bring other data platform tables like Databricks and BigQuery, which is in our roadmap. And again, when I do the demonstration, you will be able to see. But most importantly, we are bringing real-time planning to the market. Real-time planning is going to be pretty disruptive how we are addressing how we bring planning to your actuals in top of Power BI. We are going to be launching a new product called InfoBridge, which is going to help you with a report-to-report real-time communication. Let's say I have my salary plan, I have my revenue plan, I have my operating expenses, I have my COGS, I have my income statement. Let's say they are all in different sheets or pages. As you make changes, it will do real-time live streaming or an event-based streaming between the plans. Now, EDITable completes our missing part of the whole XP&A suite. So the customers, a new customer, new products, all of that could be done and everything integrated. So now we can say, not just we have disrupted the market with real-time planning and with a very innovative architecture of where we are bringing planning to your data. We have a complete suite of reporting, visualization and storytelling, planning, forecasting, everything with the data integration component of InfoBridge. And with EDITable, we feel we have the richest offering in terms of advanced capabilities for a whole planning suite, not just reporting. So especially your audience will think, where were we 2-3 years back and how we have completed our portfolio to completely kind of have the ownership or the market dominance in this space, reporting and planning space. We are pretty thrilled about what our team has achieved, and they have been able to execute on the vision that we laid out, that we want to have the native data apps, but not that completely disrupt how we do planning, budgeting, and planning and forecasting. Let's touch on the architecture. I touched on one of the key things we have done is we have adopted a modern cloud native architecture. We have separated the user experience, which is the EDITable, which we are giving you right in Power BI the way the customers want. And we have separated it with the destinations. The reason why we have this architecture is a lot of customers today are bottlenecked by their legacy. You could have a lot of Oracle tables or a SQL Server tables, but your vision could be to migrate them to Azure SQL in the cloud or like say Fabric. They want to be able to have an application that can connect to both their legacy tables as well as to their cloud native tables. So we wanted to say, we want to build something that can sit and connect to any data platforms and have our middleware that can maintain the synchronization, the audit, the change log, and use the authentication framework that Microsoft AD supports. Have everything modular so that tomorrow customer makes a decision, you know what, I'm not going to use Databricks anymore. I'm going to use Fabric going forward. All it is they can have all the applications sitting there. They just change their destination, which I'm going to show. So which means it is truly how Snowflake disrupted the market with separating storage and compute. We have somewhat done separation of the inputs and separation of the outputs, separated it, basically, kept it very, very modular. Now, one of the things we are actually, partly why we are holding off our release is basically our vision is we want to kind of own the data estate. How we plan to do is we have all these apps. So we are working out on a concept called one workspace, where you do the one infrastructure install. You can run all our apps, and through InfoBridge, they are all connected. So it's not like, okay, EDITable has a different infrastructure. Our Matrix has a different infrastructure. Our driver-based planning Valkyrie has a different infrastructure. So you do one Azure containerized services, you will be able to run pretty much all of our applications. So what I wanted to tell you is we have also thought about administration, infrastructure, and all of that to keep the compute cost minimal for customers. Before I go to the live demo, I just want to touch on, because today we have a write-back product, because this is one of the things, okay, now which one do you buy? They both have their purpose, their place. And we have a situation in the last 3 years, people buy our write-back matrix and they try to use it for EDITable's use case. And we thought it's not going to scale. So that's why we said, we have to purpose build something. The beauty of the matrix is it can do rows and column hierarchies simultaneously, like an Excel pivot table, and allows you to enter measures and values, budgets and forecast. And you can do your forecasting, budgeting, commentary, like an Excel pivot table. And you can use the Power BI's import mode or live query mode. But the key thing is we don't touch the source table. We write back to a separate table, basically. It's designed so that we are able to provide you with full audit, change log, governance, basically. We don't touch the actuals. We cannot try to separate, okay, budgets and forecast are there. You do that. Now, EDITable, it is designed for your simple dimension tables or your master tables. Obviously, we are going to support type 2 tables. I will explain what a type 2 table is. But it is purpose built for dimensions and values. Today, we do not support your quick measures or like your DAX measures. We do not support because we wanted to keep it focused as a dimensions editor. You could use it to edit dimensions. You could edit price list or vendor list, vendor attributes. It uses a direct query architecture. So we are able to provide live sync of any edits to the master data. The most important thing is you connect to a source table and the write back table is exactly the same. So you have to pick your use case and then you have to decide, hey, what is my use case, and choose the appropriate solution. We will be launching a bundled offer where a customer will have, they can buy EDITable separately, they can buy the write back matrix separately, but if they want to bundle both of them, they will be able to, so that our planning suite will have those offerings that I will be touching on in the next coming few weeks, but I'll give you an idea. But I think it's time I switch to the demos. So I'm going to, come down and I'm going to come to my browser. Are you able to see my browser, Reed?
Yep, I can see it.
Okay. So I said, I'm going to show you how we can create a table in 5 minutes. So I'm actually on an EDITable console. I'm going to create a table. And let's open up our EDITable console here. And I'm going to refresh this page just to show you. So I have only about 4 tables. And now I'm going to create a table. Now we have 2 experiences for creating a table. Let's say I am a DBA. I know you could actually create from scratch. and you can actually define the table, and you can actually do. This is pre-configured to Fabric. I'm going to use it, but I'm actually going to, I have been doing this in spreadsheet. So I'm actually going to import a spreadsheet. I'm going to import it, and I'm going to take my demo products, and I have 2005 where I have my product master. I'm going to do this. Now, if you can see, I have to give a table name. I'm creating a brand new table name. I'm going to do editable live. Let's say this is a table A. Okay. And I'm going to apply. So it's creating a table in front of your eyes right now, and it's importing. Now, obviously, if I do advanced properties, you can say, what is my default? What is my 1000 separator? You could do all of that basically. And you could, you can go back to the preview data, but it takes about few minutes, or let's say, no, not even few minutes. You see download report. So now we create a PBX file for you, basically. Bear with me as I open the PBX file. And like I said, the PBX file is opening. This is not the time by control, but it's the time that it takes to open the PBX file. And I'm moving to my scaling monitor, and this is your Power BI default settings. And just bear with me. I'm going to apply the changes. But what I wanted to touch on is, you see that we have created with the connection, with the visual here, the editable visual, all the fields assigned. And this is the primary key. So we create it for you based on your spreadsheet. We have created it for you. Now, I want to explain a few things. Now, I mentioned this comes with full audit and approval. We do an AD integration. Let's do that first. Let's actually log in. So, it's going to log me in. And as soon as I log in, so it knows my authentication that it is Gopal who is actually going to be doing the editing. Let us start with a simple use cases, but let's do a few preliminary things. Let's start with manage columns. I'm going to start with manage columns. You have product key, you have constraints. Now, the brand, I would like it to be single select. I can actually do. Now, I can do a lookup relationship. I can say simply a distinct values, or I can do a lookup, and then I can look up another table and give a list of values. Okay, so we have done that. Yeah, you can do that, but you will see I can set up my default value. I'm going to save this here. Okay, done. Now I'm going to be changing some colors of the product. Let's just do single select. Again, I'm going to do distinct values here. I'm going to save it. So I have configured two of them. And what I want to do is, I will show you with approval and without approval. Let's show you what are all there. You see the pre-configured Fabric connection. This is the delete, whether you want to do I will touch on CRUD permissions. This is approval. I'm doing it without approval. I will touch on what row identification means. Row identification means, because in a table, it has to tell, okay, which record is key for you in a table. The webhook is what gives you kind of a REST API automation if you want to propagate the change. But let's keep it simple. I'm actually going to take my product key. Let us increase the price for this. We are going to do it to $14, round it to $14. I'm going to hit enter. I'm going to actually make a save. Okay, so you are going to see, I don't have an approval. It's going to make a live edit. The data is saved successfully. Okay, so the change is propagated. Now, let me show you something. We didn't have this table here. I'm going to close this here. I'm going to come here. I showed you I've created a table and I'm maintaining it live in 5 minutes, basically. You literally saw I'm doing it. And I'm going to start running the queries and I'm going to start showing you. You see this table got created live, basically, in the Fabric workspace. Now, I want to change the color. We have taken the decision to the brand. Maybe we want to basically say, let's say it's going to be worldwide importers. But before I change the brand, I need to get approval. I'm going to come and configure the approval. This is where we have invested quite a bit of time, where it can be a simple approval, where the table owner can actually be the approver. Okay. This use case, I'm going to say, but then I will come back and do, and then I'm going to say, let's just change the color to blue, and then I'm going to save.
And I think the additional approval process is really good too, because I know at least with InfoRiver, the matrix, you can provision people to have permission to use the tool, but there's no extra step once they have permission. So once they have permission to make edits, it just writes back to the database. There's no second step of approver. Where this, I'm assuming they're at the visual level. There's people who have permissions to make an edit inside of the visual, but it still has to go through that extra check before writing to the system. Since you're now making more,
good question.
Again, record level changes, which can have more significant impacts in the organization if done wrong.
Correct, but it needs to get routed to the right people. I'm going to talk about conditional approval next. So this one is like, I'm the table owner. I'm going to approve it. Boom, that change gets committed. Okay, now I'm going to set up a conditional approval. I'm going to say, no, I want to do the rules. I am going to add a rule. I'm going to say, if the brand is, let's say, Contoso, I'm going to be the one approving, or I can obviously put an AD group, obviously. I'm going to do this. Let's say some product is this.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you could say, like, you could have approvers for finance, marketing, so departments, or parts of a company. Yeah, exactly. Any condition, really, just a categorical condition based off something that's in the model or in the database.
Correct. I think we are also giving measure. Let's say if you have a value, you could also saying if it is more than $100, this person will approve it. More than $1 million, this person will approve it. Basically, we could also set it up as well.
Yep.
The persistence mode is basically require approval before saving or save with pending approval status, because these are all kind of enterprise customer requirements we have been getting, and we have tried to accommodate a lot of the customer rules. But if I come here right now, my review tab has nothing. And then I'm going to come back and then say, the brand is Contoso. So I'm just going to say, let's move it to Northwind, this product. I'm going to save it. And you can see it goes to the approver tab. And then I'm going to do this. Thumbs up. Now I know you see the change is highlighted, what is changed, and I'm going to do this basically.
Gotcha. So the approvers, do they get like an email, or is it like a Teams message?
Yes. So they get an email, but if you have published this report, so this is where I kind of wanted to show you. If I have published this report today, I did not publish this report, so I don't have a report link, but you can see I get an email like this, hey, you have to do this, basically. So gotcha, okay. It is, yeah. Now, if you have published it, you can click it. It will take you to the report or the app automatically.
Gotcha.
Okay. And I want to show you something more. Now, obviously, I can publish it and I can do. But I want to, I said I will do it in 5 minutes. I was able to do it, this. So this is, if you really think about it, tell me which product or which application where, there used to be this big thing, 1 minute to start, 5 minutes to WAF. We have taken it to the extreme level of 5 minutes to value. You are done with your task in 5 minutes. So that's the level of sophistication we are pushing our team to kind of match. So I think we have achieved where business users see the value in 5 minutes because they are actually working with it, creating and editing tables and managing all of them in 5 minutes. Now, what I want to do is I want to kind of show a few bigger category thing. Let's say we change the color of this. So I'm going to select this cell and I'm going to hit audit. So you see this, the audit is basically telling Gopal at this time, change this. Now you see this is a problem. Unlike a matrix, this is a table, flat table. So you have no context of, I made only the primary key is the identifier. But what does one mean? Let's say I go and change number 4 to blue, and I'm going to save this, right? I come to approver. I'm going to there. I'm going to come to, let's say I change, I'm going to click audit. But they don't mean anything, 1 and 4. So one of the things we have done is You come to settings, you see the row identification. Your product name actually could be a row identifier. So when you now come to the audit, it's going to be a lot more clear that, okay, this is what is getting.
Gotcha. So
So you
similar to that thing
define,
that's available in Power BI where you can do it's the row label. You set like if it's different from the key and you want a text label for something.
correct. Now, let's say you want to add a reason to it. Let's say, so like for example, I can actually even do the same commenting experience that we are looking at that we can actually do. But for some reason, maybe I'll show you when it is published. But most importantly, the beauty of our product is I can actually come to the last page and I can actually do bulk insert, right? I can do 10 rows here and then I can copy paste and I can do things like this. I can import another set of sheets and then I can append to it basically. So the bulk edit experience is one of the biggest USPs when customers talk about, okay, how is it different from a Power Apps or any other application or thing? We have perfected the bulk edit experience, something that I'm going to show you. Hold your thought on that. The reason is I want to show a few things on the service also, okay? So I want to basically come here and you see we can do, if somebody had the persisted flag, this is how it would be. But what I wanted to show you here is what is a type 2 table, because this is the demo that is very important to me, very dear to me, because this is what widens the use case for editable. And this is where, let's say, for example, I'm going to, again, this is a published report. So the reason is I wanted to come from Power BI desktop and I wanted to show something here. So let's say I'm going to take this user or the B03. Let's pick on Mia Rodriguez. We are going to basically, bump her up salary to 300,000, and we are going to save it. Okay. So now you notice the start date. It is pretty smart, and when you do that, the data is saved. And if you see this is kind of updated. Now, if you select this record and then hit history, it creates kind of a change history of what their salary was and how it has changed. And this is active. Does it make sense? This is what is slowly changing. They can change their title, you can change their salary. You could use it for salary planning or a price, because this was this. So think about my hourly rate was from this to this, and I'm planning to do. Now, because it's available to you as a type 2 table, based on a time condition, you can set up your reports. And this is how it is integrated into your reporting and planning applications. This table is now integrated. So this is kind of going to open up editables use cases on what type of tables that you can actually, because I can change the bonus percentage, or I can change somebody's title. If that is defined, you could do that. So this is something that I kind of wanted to show. Now I'm going to do something. Let's create a brand new table, because one of the things people will think, okay, you showed me in Fabric, but we have not yet adopted Fabric. We still use Azure SQL. So I'm going to create another table for, let's take the same thing. Now here, I'm going to create, but I'm not going to use...
just the fact that you can import from Excel is really nice, because I mean, the Excel is probably the world's most popular data entry tool. Everybody uses Excel to stick it on a SharePoint, you ingested it somewhere, and people just go edit cells. So the fact that you can kind of just lift and shift whatever design you already have and just might do a really easy migration, I think is very smart.
Yes. So now this is Azure SQL. I'm creating a brand new table. I'm picking Azure SQL because we don't use Fabric. I'm going to use Azure SQL. I'm going to apply the same concept. Now, it's the same thing, but I kind of wanted to show you a few different things that you can do with it. Now I have a brand new file. I have it now because I really want to reinforce the ease of use and how fast, because I fundamentally believe that all our applications, business users can start and they should get value in 5 minutes, basically. Okay.
Yeah, I mean it's a really fast way to get the information in, and I mean I have plenty of clients I can see that would have a lot of use cases for, being able to make changes to employees that have been terminated or just, added to the company. Stuff that just requires the checkboxes, and it also has all the data validation, which I like. I've seen some
Okay.
nasty Excel formulas that have to do checks on the information that gets put into an Excel sheet.
Got it. Got it. Got it. I have some challenges with Azure SQL, but at least I wanted to just show you because the database credentials, obviously, with, every demo you run into an issue, but I thought I will show you. But it is this easy to get a report. So I have a challenge on the connections. I don't have the connection, but you get an idea of what I'm talking about, right? So I'm not able to do it because I don't have the connection details. But this is where, if it is pre-configured by the admin for your Azure SQL, you should be able to do that. Now I'm going to probably use this one. I'm going to probably reset all, and I'm going to just use Fabric to do a simple bulk edit use case. Let us say I am going to just bear with me. I'm going to come back here and just bear with me. This this pop-up is all on all. So there is a pop-up on my screen that I showed off. So just bear with me. Yes. So meanwhile, while this is coming up, I thought I will probably switch to some of the things that I wanted to share in terms of the audience. I don't know. So I will quickly touch on the biggest USP is that it comes with full governance. You can export the audit. It comes with it. It comes with kind of the permissions, like who can add rows, who can edit rows. These are all the things, CRUD permissions, advanced CRUD permissions that we are coming out with, because some people can create tables, but some people can insert rows. Some people can only maintain inserted rows. They can't add a new customer, new vendor. All of that can be, the permissions are very, very granular. I think I didn't touch on, this is what I wanted to show. The beauty of the product is you can have column level ACL. Each column can have different set of users who can actually maintain it. So only some people can maintain quantity, only some people can maintain product number. So we have given a complete control of advanced security and governance, and we are able to show you the approval workflow, basic table level approval, conditional approval, persistent mode. So this is where we have invested heavily, because just because we are saying, hey, we are letting you edit a table, we have not compromised on any of the enterprise security and governance. And in fact, we have gone above and beyond. And most customers are now looking at it just because of the robust governance it gives. The business users love the ease of use. IT is saying, okay, this is wonderful complement to MDM tools that they can actually edit and maintain quickly without creating an IT project. They can actually, and everything comes with full audit and governance. Now, I have folks who have been asking me, how is it different from Power Apps? Consciously, we have not given Dataverse as a destination. We may be able to add it in the future because we don't want it to get compared to a Dataverse, which is basically sits on top of Dynamic CRM, connects primarily to the Dataverse. We are more of a class of applications purpose-built for reporting and planning that sits on your data platform. Yeah, so our focus is always going to be the bulk edit experience with approval workflow. So the bulk edit experience is, I want to edit a bunch of records, Excel like find and replace. And those are some of the things that I'm really, really looking at actually bringing to market. So I'm going to talk about a bulk edit experience. Obviously, let me, hopefully I can actually show you this as well. So let's say I have logged in successfully. I think I'm starting to have some technical difficulties because, again, we are in a beta, but I don't know why it's asking me to configure a source again. So I will come back to the demo use cases.
Anytime you switch pages in desktop, though, because there's no caching, so it always resets the page.
Got it.
Yeah, in the browser, you can always stay logged in. As soon as you go from one page to another, it clears it. There's no cache option for the WebKit 2.0 inside of Power BI Desktop, sadly.
Let's see if this workflow works. If you notice that this table has been already created, maybe that's why it's forcing me to connect to the same table. That's why it's forcing me to connect to the same table. I think it should recognize that this table is already created. Then we are going to, you see, it's created. So which means I can come back here. It recognizes, and now I can actually come and basically come back here and configure the source table for the write back. So this is created. And then column types. So it's asking me to create all of the column types, right? You can actually, so this is how you would actually do it, basically, right? So this is the user experience if you want to modify something, if you are maintaining a table that is already created, okay? Because some customers, they want to maintain a table that has been already created. So these are the experiences that we are trying to simplify for business, but hopefully by the time we go live in a couple of weeks, we would perfect it where it comes automatically pre-configured. In the essence of time, what I wanted to do is I will touch on the whole concept of the ability to find and replace. And let me just quickly show something here. Let's quickly, hopefully I can show you this here with this. So you see this here, like a replace. I can actually do a find and replace, basically. Let's say I want to take brackets and I want to change them all to, let's say, bracket. So here I could say find all 3, and then I can do a replace all. So this is what I was talking about. And then I can hit save. Okay, so it goes to approval. So this is kind of the thing, find and replace and the Excel like bulk editing. So these are some of the things that we have. It comes for approval. I can hit approval and then it's closed. So kind of made it extremely easy for business users to do things that are very, very easy to do. I hope I can show one more demo, but this is something very, very near and dear to me. Hopefully it works because, you know, when you're working with a beta product, that team is also constantly changing it. That I'm not so sure it would work, but I will pass it. But again, I would encourage all of you to, those who are interested, one of the things is, let's say I make a change here, it can make a live edit change to another product. All of those things are like, you can actually do, and then you can say, show items with no data here. So if you add a new product, that's how you can make it show up for. So let's say desktop services is a brand new product, even though it has no data, you see it shows up. Now you can add your budget column and you are able to do that. So let me come back here. I touched on Power Apps. From a roadmap perspective, we think we will be going live for our Power BI customers by June 15th. We are hoping to do another iteration of it in the 5 to 6 weeks timeframe by July 15th, where we have a lot more things coming. And we are going to bring like even a form input experience also to be able to do that. Again, Reid, do you have any other questions before, because I just wanted to kind of, the essence of the time, I wanted to introduce the product, but does the audience have any other questions?
There was one where Matthias was curious about, because you've now compared it to Power Apps, at least, and like where they overlap or don't. I've not heard of the platform, but he mentioned Talend with a D, and that this seems similar to that. So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that platform at all.
So Talend is, if you think about it, it plays in the class of it's an ELT ETL tool, basically. Talend. We are not an ELT ETL tool. We sit on top of your. So if you look at their architecture, it takes the data, makes changes, and it may write back. But we actually sit natively on top of where the database is. We read and write live. So it's a completely different architecture. and that one cannot give this ease of use, basically.
Okay, gotcha.
Just because
Just
of
that
how
one.
we have
Yeah.
architect. Yeah.
Yep. No, yeah. And I just had one other one where somebody was wanting to know about the efficiency of the matrix, related to its speed, I guess, compared to other products. But I'd ask for clarification on what exactly they meant on that, since that's a little more off topic from the data editor.
Yeah. So if you really think about the nature of data per se, a dimension table is not really going to be huge. Now we are able to edit even 30,000 rows of table, but one of the things is this will support external Power BI filters. So you could actually, because this is one single table, whereas a matrix, you can take it from a star schema model, basically. So it's a completely that thing. So you are able to put your Power BI filters and slicers, and you are actually able to restrict within that table what, and then you are able to do that, and then you are able to do that. So one of the things is the write back performance is fairly very good if you are using. So as the data volume goes, we use the bulk edit concept, bulk insert concepts, and all of that. So it should be comparable to our write back matrix because we use the same write back engine, only that the way we connect, the way we do is architected. So as we have matured the write back engine over the last 3 years, Editable was able to piggyback on it and able to do this. It's just that how you connect and how you do it is how it is different, and what you edit is different.
Agreed. Yep. Excellent. Yeah, those are the main two that I had at the moment. And just since we're getting close to time, if is there any wrap-ups or links that you have in terms of places that people should go check out, or the primary place that they should go look for this? Is it just like inforiver.com?
I think Editable is going to have its own website, mainly because so we will probably the Power BI would be like an InfoRiver Editable, but because we plan to release this in Fabric workload, it will be a simple Lumel editable app. So you will notice all of our non-Power BI apps will be simply Lumel apps, basically. So it's not going to be, we are not going to get confused with, we have multiple brands, and it was designed with purpose because, we came to our solutions over the course of the last 6-7 years that we came with purpose-built Power BI apps. But when we go to a kind of a multi-platform architecture where within Fabric, they will all be like Lumel Editable, Lumel Write Back Matrix, or Lumel Planning Suite, or Lumel Reporting Suite. They're kind of the thing that we are thinking. But within Power BI, it will be like an InfoRiver Editable that you could actually do that. Now, like I said, I have already an enterprise customer that have gone to production with Editable. We probably will, we have several customers waiting from our write back matrix because they don't have to deploy another infrastructure. Those are our customers that are going to adopt Editable quickly because it's just like in a one workspace. They are going to get it. They are up and running. They can do it. And we will probably expand to more kind of private tenant customers first and then do it. But the SaaS workload is going to come available in Fabric as a kind of, that's where we think Fabric is going to shine. It's going to be for a lot of small, medium business, pure consumption-based pricing model. It's going to be. So that's the main advantage we think your Fabric workload would give them. So anybody could basically buy Editable and use it like a standalone app versus have to use this, because a lot of the struggles that you see are because we try to integrate it with the Power BI desktop, but this is something you connect to a table, maintain a table. You will start wondering, the only thing, the main benefit in the Power BI is on a page, you could have, like, for example, one of the report that I tried to show you, see, I could have my reporting page, my planning page, everything, and then I can maintain my employee master right here. That's the principal benefit of coexisting with Power BI.
Well, exactly. You have the two levels of data input that's needed to do, like record level adjustments, either singular or bulk, and then more of that planning, budget, target, forecast level, which allows you to apply those broad stroke brushes at some kind of a categorical level at the 10, 15, 35,000 foot views.
Yes, that is correct.
Yeah, I mean, anything honestly that just gets people out of using Excel for data input is definitely a win for I'd say the Microsoft BI space for sure.
No, absolutely. But the way we look at it is, what are we giving more than Excel? Because we can't, go to any business and say, hey, it's an Excel replacement, or you can do that.
Yep.
So one of the key thing is, okay, the governance, the ease of use over Excel, the lookup, because even in Excel, if you want to look up to another sheet, and then that is a little bit in Excel, power user can do it, but so that's why a lot of people talk about no code, but they are actually low code. Even if you talk about Power Apps, you need to hire a Power Apps developer to build something like this. But this is a true no
I don't think
code.
anybody that uses Power Apps would call that low code or no code. Power Apps is very code heavy. Because it has the the FX language. Like I haven't even bothered to learn it because it was a whole new language. Like no, it's not using anything existing. I will hire a developer for that.
But you look at it how it is marketed. It's the biggest no code platform. But
it is supposed to be easy to, and you can use the templates, but as soon as you need to customize it, then it goes from easy to complex. Yeah.
Exactly. So our business philosophy has to be, business user can start and finish a task in 5 minutes. And it's not even no code. We want to give complete ease of use and automation with full governance so that IT is satisfied. So that has been the vision, and we are able to achieve it. And one of the things that we are doing, just because we have been so successful as an organization, just because we have been in the market for so long, we have a reputation to keep. We are taking the time to perfect it. So we go to a lot of customers. We don't have a kind of a revenue pressure. I have to release this product. I got to make money to pay my 250 employees. I don't have it just because we have so many other successful products. We are able to patiently test and mature and make it enterprise grade. So by the time our products come out, they are enterprise grade. It's not like version 1 and then things break. So one of the things I take pride in is that we want to release almost a near perfect product when we ship our version 1. Unlike other companies that do the preview release, the beta release, and then by the time they go GA, it's like 1 year out. No, it's not like that. That's not our company culture.
What's the phrase? So, it's like a delayed product can be forgiven, but a badly released product is something that you basically now have to repair your perception, your brand. So yes, it is much better to be delayed than to release too early. Just as a quick anecdote, like I don't know if you own any Sonos products. The entire industry just backlashed at them because they just released a new app and it was absolutely horrible, and it's a dumpster fire with them right now. So it's very bad to do that. And we talked about your data editor back, I think, in December, and I think most of the products that you've released, I usually get the 2 to 4 weeks, and then you realize no, actually we're going to take our time. We're going to hold off a bit. It'll be another month. Well, maybe 1 more month because we have to add another product feature. So by the time you've released every one that I've seen so far, almost all of them have been delayed from whatever you think it's originally going to be, but they're all released at a very usable level that is not buggy or missing half the things that it should on its V1, which is good.
No, that's been the principle. So we don't believe in minimum viable products. Everybody thinks, okay, you can get a minimum viable product out and get customers and then perfect it. I think customers want maximum value product. So we are trying to change the definition of MVP. It should give them maximum value at the lowest possible time to get started. So that has been the principal thesis. And I kind of apologize to the customers. We can't estimate the time it takes to release. But unlike other companies, we don't sit on previews for months and months and sometimes even years. But when we release it, we use a product that you can go to production the next day and it is mature. It's a different philosophy. We do big bang releases. People have a revenue pressure. They have to meet their quarterly deadlines. But as a successful company, we don't have that. And that's what has kept our customers happy. And that's one of the reasons we are actually doing very, very well in the ecosystem. And we think, one of the requests is that we want you to, by the time we come out with EDITable, It's going to be very mature, but doesn't mean we stop there. We will continue to take it to the next level where we are able to give you that true ease of use and productivity that you have been craving for, but kind of, unmet. This is a kind of an unmet business use case. But Reed, it has always been a pleasure coming to your channel and talk about our new products. And I've had now almost a 4-year association with you now, and it has been a great partnership.
So, yeah, absolutely. And I've it's been interesting to watch the visuals grow from basically just a bunch of really cool custom visuals with XViz to a lot of enterprise stuff that you've released in the last few years. So it's from an observer perspective, been very cool to see all these new things emerging in the market that have continued to allow for the expansion of what a report can be in Power BI. And it's again, like, it's moving from just, this is a consumption tool, to things that can be part of the actual ecosystem of data changes within the organization, which I think is where it should be going. So glad to see this on here, and I'm sure this will get a lot of good rewatches. And I have a few clients that I'll definitely be linking this to, like, oh yeah, you know that like input form that you have in Excel where you do this, like, you should consider checking this out. This will get you out of the Excel environment for data entry. Yeah, no, thank you. And I also wanted to share with everybody, we are actually the official kind of a webinar. I wanted to give you the first right, Reed, but we are actually doing our internal webinar on March, and this is at 10 a.m. on Thursday. So in case you want to come and with more questions from this live stream, please do come. And it is more suited for European audience to be able to also join. It's a little early evening for them. So I'm really looking forward to really, drive the adoption. And just as I mentioned, I'm really looking forward to, the planning space. We think we have disrupted the planning market as a whole EPM suite. And I'm also looking forward to launching InfoBridge. It's going to be pretty next one of our, I won't call it, it's our team has done how to connect everything together and how we are bringing real-time planning to the market. I'm very personally, I think our team has delivered, which, a few years back looked like kind of like a pie in the sky. But I think today we have something to show for that works. And we got the customers excited, and that's the most important point. And most importantly, we have the best write-back engine. We have wrestled with it for the last 3 years. And I think I have to thank all our customers who have been patient with us to, help us mature. And because of that, we are able to deliver enterprise class write-back. And now we are able to go after your planning use cases. And now EDITable is a big part of that. Exactly. One more part of the ecosystem that definitely tackles a bit of a holistic picture for all this stuff. But like as you said, this has been great to get you back on for this. Hopefully in another 6 to 12 months, there'll be yet another product that you guys might be coming out with. But I thank you for coming on for this, and I'm looking forward to getting you back on again at some point as well in the future. Yes. Thank you, Reed. And I really appreciate you having me. Thank you. All right. Cheers, everyone. Thank you so much for watching. Please consider hitting that like and subscribe button. And if you want to help support this channel, take a look at our channel memberships or our merchandise store for cool swag. And last but not least, please consider sharing this video on your social media platform of choice to help our channel grow. So, until next time.